Good morning, people. How are you doing today? Let's see, today, what is it? Thursday, January 4th of 2024, our new year. Man, that's hot. I hope everybody's doing well. I know I am. For the most part, everything's good. Everything's good at work. Everything's A-okay. Today I want to talk about alcohol withdrawal. And what is alcohol withdrawal? It is a cluster of symptoms that compose a syndrome. When alcoholics that have been drinking heavily over a period of time decide to stop. And it can be quite scary, and it can be fatal. There are three substances that you can die of from withdrawal. One being alcohol, two being benzodiazepines, and three being barbiturates. Barbiturates aren't really commonly prescribed anymore because they're overdose potential. That's kind of why the benzodiazepines replaced the barbiturates back in the 50s, I think. So alcohol withdrawal, it's the syndrome itself has three stages. 6 to 12 hours, you may have mild, symptoms, a little bit of shakiness, maybe some sweating, that kind of thing. Progresses to the 12-hour mark, 12 to 48 hours. You can become disoriented, fever may develop, it just gets worse. The 48 to 72 hour mark is really, if it's going to be really, really bad, that's typically when it happens. If it progresses into what is known as delirium tremens, fairly rare. I mean, you have to really be pounding that alcohol over a long period of time. Maybe somebody that's been drinking, vodka every day, staying drunk for, it really doesn't matter the timeline. I mean, you can develop something like that, after a month of just staying drunk. But it's fairly rare, but it can be fatal. My own personal worst alcohol withdrawal story, my folks were out of town. I was house sitting pretty much, and I had been drinking a lot of beer over the course of a couple of months, mostly playing golf, and then when I wasn't playing golf, I mean, it didn't matter what I was doing. Sitting in front of the computer, I was drinking. So I had had enough. I had reached that point where it was time to fish or cut bait. So I decided to just stop cold turkey. And the first day wasn't bad. The second day is when it started ramping up, and I had, I developed, I think I had a fever, insomnia. I couldn't sleep worth a damn. My anxiety level was through the roof. I mean, we're talking bad anxiety, heart racing, tachycardia. It was just terrible. So finally I couldn't take it anymore, and I don't like hospitals, so I didn't go to the hospital. I decided to go to my family practitioner, so I went down there, saw the PA, and he's like, I said, could you please give me something for this? I quit drinking. I found out later he was recovery. He was in recovery too, but I didn't know that. But he wouldn't do it. Maybe that had something to do with it. So I come home, and the symptoms get even worse. I mean, I'm having problems with my vision, my hearing. It wasn't D.T.s, so to speak, delirium tremens. But I was at that 12-48 hour mark, and it was just unbearably just god awful. So the second day, or let's see, no, the third day, I went back. The next day, I went back to the doctor, and I said, look, these symptoms are getting worse. And I mean, he didn't even advise me to go to the emergency room. I don't know if he just assessed me, you know, and decided, well, I think he's okay. I don't think, maybe he's just over exaggerating, you know, his symptoms. Well, I wasn't. I felt like total crap. And I said, please, please do something for me. Is there, will you just, what can you do? You know, he's like, go home and take Benadryl, and I'm like, I'm thinking that's not going to do anything. So I just came home and wrote it out, and finally, about the 48-hour mark, I started feeling a little bit better, and then by 72-hour mark, the symptoms started. I finally went to sleep. So it's like I didn't sleep for like 3 days. You know, it was bad. Anxiety was bad, and the weird thing about it is because it's cold turkey withdrawal, which is never ever recommended for alcohol withdrawal. Always seek treatment. And I want to state this up front. I'm not a doctor. I'm not offering medical advice, and I'm certainly not promoting substance abuse or substance use or abuse of any kind. But yeah, it was just for the next month, I was so lethargic and had no energy, and I just felt like I'd taken sleeping pills maybe. It was just weird, and it gradually waned, you know, over. But it took like a month for me to like feel normal after that. It was terrible. You know, there was one time I was actually in a detox facility and went into alcoholic hallucinosis, which is it typically happens in the 12 to 48-hour mark. And I was seeing things. I had visual hallucinations, auditory hallucinations. I didn't have the tactile hallucinations, you know, where it's called formication, where, you know, people report, you know, bugs, you know, crawling on their body, and, you know, they're feeling weird sensations. I didn't have any of that. But I was hallucinating. I was paranoid. I thought there was a news crew outside the place that was waiting to do a story on me because I was just paranoid, thinking that the police were out there. I'm a journalist, so it's like I was scared that I was going to become the news because I felt like I don't know how I got in that state of paranoia, or why I was afraid that I was in trouble, because I wasn't. I mean, I was just hallucinating. And the thing about alcoholic hallucinosis that sort of differentiates itself between true delirium tremens is you don't have a clouding of your sensorium, like your ability to, what would be the word, your focus, and your you know, able to discern what's going on around you. That's not there. The D.T.s are, you know, you may not know who you are, what you are, or where you are. With alcoholic hallucinosis, I mean, that I was going through, I knew who I was, and I knew where I was. It was just I was seeing things, but that was pretty scary. I mean, it was nightmarish. I advise any, you know, if you decide that you've had enough of drinking and you just can't take it anymore, I would advise going to the doctor. And you've decided that you're going to stop, do not really do it on your own. I know people that have done it on their own, and the outcome is never good. I did it, and I did. I vomited. It was, you know, it was awful. So that being said, you decide to quit drinking. So make sure that you talk to your healthcare provider before you stop drinking, and let them know what your intentions are. You know, just be honest about it. Tell them how much you're drinking. You know, not 2 beers. You know, that old one. Yeah, just be completely honest. You know, you should always be completely honest with your doctor and your lawyer. I mean, you just be honest in general. I mean, that's what getting honest about your problem is key to, you just shit can all that, denial, and really, just get down to the brass tacks of, I want to stop. But make sure you do talk to your healthcare provider. And if your symptoms have gotten so bad, before, or you didn't contact your healthcare provider, and your symptoms get really, really bad, I would suggest going to the emergency room, definitely. They'll be able to give you medications to help with the withdrawal, so you don't have seizures. That's one of the reasons that alcohol withdrawal can be, really dangerous, is you can have seizures, multiple seizures. There's possibility of strokes, heart attacks, just bad stuff. I mean, my blood pressure has gone out of control while being in withdrawal. I've seen some crazy numbers for a small guy like me, and that's should be enough to scare somebody. I know we just don't. It seems like we have to. Hopefully, you don't have to hit rock bottom before you decide to stop. That's the whole key to stop digging. Either, just cut it. You got to cut it out. On the other hand, people. There have been people that have died. The research I've done, there have been people that have died. People will say, "Well, heroin withdrawal, a drug I have never tried. I will never get involved with that kind of thing. Opiates were never anything that I was. It was just not my drug of choice." But they say heroin won't kill you. The withdrawal. And people that have told me, they're like, you will wish you were dead, but you won't die. But there's been some documented cases where people have died of hydration, dehydration, probably from, maybe diarrhea or vomiting. But it's the withdrawal from that is not going to outright kill you. But yeah, if you feel like you're ready to quit, contact that medical provider. Don't do it alone, and make sure you get treatment, and that may require going to rehab. I've been to rehab several times for alcohol to withdraw, and it's you come out on that pink cloud, and for me it's just insanity. It's insane doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It is just crazy. But I hope you guys have a really good day. I got some stuff planned. I may go shoot some photos today. It's going to be cold and it's going to be gray out, so I might want to try some different type photography, but it'll definitely be, it just might be too cold, but I had planned on it. We got a cold snap coming through here. But you guys stick around here, and I will see you later. Stay tuned.